Hey guys, welcome to week 52 of Books Being Sick. I believe 52 weeks means that it's been a full year of doing these videos. So welcome to the 1 year celebration vid where, nothing's actually happening. But thanks for being here for this entire year. This kind of just started out like a challenge where I wanted to make book update videos every week, kind of long form, and wanted to do it for a full year. And here we are. We did, a year has happened. So thank you guys so much for tagging along and watching every week. I try to read every single comment. I obviously can't reply to everybody, and I would like to take more time to try and do that, but I do appreciate you guys watching, commenting. I do try to read everything, and that's just been really, really fun. And this is, this isn't where it ends. I'm going to keep making videos every week. I don't know that I'll announce them as like, this is week 53, because I feel like it would just kind of get to a point of redundancy where it would just be kind of weird. So not sure if that aspect will continue, but we'll still be doing weekly book videos, weekly book update videos, and more kind of curated book videos where I'm more specifically talking about one thing. So anyway, just super appreciate you all being here. It's been a really cool year. It's looking like there's an opportunity for me to kind of do this more full-time-ish, which is really weird, but really cool. So I do appreciate it so much. I really, really, truly do. Thank you for watching. Today, I'm going to be talking about some books that I'm planning on reading in 2025. I've got a big stack here. I'm looking forward to getting into that. I have some book club news if you're interested, if you're in, or if you're interested. There is a day in February where something happens. It's like a special day in February that's completely manufactured by big corporations to steal your money and make you feel like you need to make other people feel loved in your life. However, some people like it, and so we're going to be doing a themed book month based off of that day. So I'll let you know which books we're voting on. I'm actually really excited about it. Got some real quickly too. I wanted to mention I apologize. I do apologize. I have merch available at the moment. Books Are Sick tees, the puking book, the sweater. I'll put the link down below if you're interested. That is going to close on Monday. It'll be open for the weekend. Pre-order closes on Monday, and that stuff will ship by the end of the month. So if you're interested, that is there. But no pressure whatsoever, honestly. Seriously, love ya. Okay, let's get into some books that I plan on reading for the month of 2025, which is not a month. So one thing I'm going to be doing, there's a lot of big books on this list. I do really tend to enjoy big books. I love just kind of really sinking my teeth into a long book. And just kind of really kind of getting to know the characters that much better, the story that much better. I feel like more often than not, long books do tend to be very good. I don't know that I've read a lot of very long books that I just hated. So there's a lot of those on this list, but there's a lot of everything I'd like to think on this list. And this is only like, 10, 15 of the books that I plan on reading. My reading number for 2024 was 56 books or something like that. And I've made my goal for 2025 75 books, which is a pretty big jump. Like if I was smart, I'd probably just add like 5 books to that or something, make it like an even 60. But I'm going to aim to read 75 books in 2025. I think I'm going to have more time to do it, which I'm very excited about. And there's so many books that I want to get into. My bookshelves are overflowing. I did try to clean them up recently. I don't know if you can tell, but they're clean. Anyways, so these are just a few of the ones that I'm pretty much guaranteed to read in 2025 that I'll share with you now. The first one on top here is a Barbara Kingsolver novel. This is the Poisonwood Bible. I don't know if any of you guys have read this one. I have not a clue what it's about because the back doesn't actually even really say anything. Obviously, I could probably just Google it. But, here we go. Is a story told by the wife of 4 daughters of Nathan Price, a fierce evangelical Baptist who takes his family on mission to the Belgian Congo in 1959. That sounds wild. So I am reading this because I am still reading Demon Copperhead right now. This book is taking me quite a bit longer to finish than I had anticipated. I'm over the halfway point, but there's something about it where there's so much that happens and it's so heavy and there are so many things that Demon is going through that after about a solid hour of reading it, I'm finding that I need to take a breather. My brain is like, okay, this has been good. Let's take a breather and we'll continue on later. So it's taken me a little bit to finish it. That said, I am just absolutely enamored with this book. I really, really have been loving it. Barbara's writing, while tricky to begin with, has fully kind of sunk in, and I'm just loving it so much. So I want to continue the Barbara Kingsolver train. And I hear that the Poisonwood Bible is just a fantastic one. And a lot of people say, like, maybe start with the Poisonwood Bible and then go Demon Copperhead. I didn't do that, but I'm going to go the reverse. Next up here, I have Educated by Tara Westover. This is a memoir, and this is a memoir that so many people recommend. Actually, a shocking amount of people. When I mentioned that I've kind of been into memoirs, and I didn't think I ever really would be, everybody's like, well, have you read Educated? Because that's the best one. Have you read Educated by Tara Westover? If you've not, don't say anything yet about your favorite, because it really is the best. I'm not really sure why. I think the cover has just kind of turned me away, which is so stupid. I know you don't judge a book based on the cover, but I do, and I did for this one. And I, well, even though I had heard it was good, I kind of just put it aside. But now that everybody has, like, every single person that's recommended this book is just so passionate about how good it is. So really, really looking forward to checking out Educated. That's going to be a pretty, even if I won't be able to squeeze it in this month realistically, but that might be the first one for February. This is a big chunky one here. Look at that. This is a book. It's been sunburnt. It's been through the ringer. This is a book I've been reading for about 2 years. It's been about a 2-year journey, just slowly reading this book, which is kind of weird, I know, to take that long to read a book. But this is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And this is just as incredible as they say. It's the ultimate adventure betrayal, vengeance story that you've ever read in your life. I'm about halfway through at this point. It is just incredible. It's a really, really, really long, dense book. Like, we're talking 1,200 pages, if not more, 1,300 pages. But I'm making a commitment to finish this one by the end of this month if I can. It might be early February based on the other books I have going, but that is the goal that I have right now, is to finally get this book done. Because I haven't seen the movies, and there's a new one that's out that I don't want to watch until I'm done this, and I keep hearing how amazing the new Count of Monte Cristo one is, the French one, I believe, and I really want to see it. The cinematography is apparently just bananas. However, I want to finish the book before I watch it, so that is the motivation there. Also, it's really good. This is another nonfiction one here, quickly, really. This is called The Art Thief here by Michael Finkel. I really enjoy saying the name Michael Finkel, so I'm excited to read this Michael Finkel book. This is about someone who I think is just so obsessed with art that they do everything that they can to just collect as much of it as possible without the intention of even ever selling it. They just love art that much, but they get into a lot of trouble doing so. I think that's kind of the gist of what that book story is about. I'm looking forward to that one. This one here, this one's not too long. This is probably the shortest one on the list, maybe. 270 pages, but the margins are really on your side for this one. This is going to be my first Kurt Vonnegut book. This is Cat's Cradle. I'm looking forward to Cat's Cradle. I know that the norm for starting with Kurt Vonnegut is to read Slaughterhouse-Five, which I do plan on reading. However, I read the synopsis for Cat's Cradle. It's kind of apocalyptic. It sounded really interesting and really weird. I read the first couple chapters. That is another thing about this book I will mention to you. If you like short chapters, this is a just under 300-page book, and there are 127 chapters. So we're talking 1-2 pages at a time. So if that's your thing, this might be for you. Cat's Cradle sounds really cool. Looking forward to checking that out. Next up here, I have this beautiful copy of Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is a fantasy book. Robin Hobb, evidently one of the best fantasy writers that we have living on Earth right now, and I just cannot wait to check her out. This is an illustrated copy too. There's some beautiful illustrations in here. Just looking forward to getting into some Robin Hobb. It's been on my bucket list for a while now. I just got to do it. I got to get into it. I'm really excited to get some more fantasy into my life this year, and I feel like Robin Hobb might be the best place to start because, again, like Educated, everybody's just like Robin Hobb if you want to read fantasy. Here's one that's really, really big. How long is this friggin' one? Okay, we're talking 900 pages, but it looks like massive. This is Swan Song by Robert McCammon. This is an apocalyptic book again. Similar vibes to The Stand, I want to say. A lot of people say that if you like The Stand by Stephen King, you'll love Swan Song by Robert McCammon. And there are, of course, the big fans of Swan Song that put it above The Stand and are like, no, this is the better one. I have never read Robert McCammon. He has another book called A Boy's Life that looks just incredible. I'm going to read Swan Song, see what I think of it. And then, I'm excited that it's as big as it is. I just, again, really do get excited for big books. So Swan Song is going to be on the list for 2025. Can't wait. This one I don't really know anything about, but I want to read it because it was on the best books of the 20th century or whatever that is. 21st century? I don't know numbers that well. Whatever the one is. By New York Times. Random Family. This is by Adrienne Nicole LeBlanc. This I don't really know anything about, but I'm just excited to read it, so I wanted to mention it. Next up. This one might come into play later for the book club. Maybe a little bit of a hint, but this is Atonement by Ian McEwan. This is another one that I believe was on the list for best books of the 20 whatever century. And also, a lot when they asked authors to pick their, I think it was like 8 favorite books of the last 20 years, a lot of people put Atonement. A lot of people, including Stephen King, I believe, put Atonement on his list. And so this is Atonement is a film that I want to say I watched like 10 years ago. It's been a while, but I remember being pretty blown away by it. And so I'm looking forward to reading that. I haven't read Ian McEwan. Can't wait. Here's one that's been on the list for a minute because it's by the author of my favorite book of all time, which is, you know what it is. This is Butcher's Crossing. Butcher's Crossing by John Williams. I am so pumped to read this. This is a story about, I believe, someone that just kind of goes off the trail, kind of gets caught up in a different sort of world, and then returns to the old world. And it's a bit of a mind bender, a bit of a trip, I think. But I'm looking forward to Butcher's Crossing. I want to say it's quite a bit different from his other book in terms of, theme and style. But I really do love his writing, and I think I'm going to really love that. Butcher's Crossing is another one that people say, you're absolutely going to love it. It is different, but you're going to love it. Here we have a horror book. I believe the first horror book that I've mentioned, unless you count Swan Song. People do count Swan Song as a horror book. I'll have to let you know what I think about that. This one, though, is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I actually read the first couple chapters when I bought this, and I was in. But things just got busy, and I was unable to continue at the time. 12-year-old Robbie Stevens Jr. is sentenced to 6 months at the Gracetown School for Boys for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister, Gloria. That's kind of how this starts off. It's going to be a heartbreaker. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be one of those kind of horror books. I'm really looking forward to it. Have heard such incredible things about that one. So, here we have a classic. This is a real classic. This is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This is all the cool kids in high school were reading this book, and I was like, these people are interesting. Look at them reading The Bell Jar. And now I am excited to read The Bell Jar. I'm looking forward to this. I can't tell you a thing about it. That's going to be a common theme because I haven't read any of these books. But looking forward to it. Going to get a lot more classics in my life for 2025. A few others. There's a couple Russian literature books that are going to be consumed by me that I cannot wait for, that I will share with you. The Bell Jar, though, really looking forward to that. I really am. We got a few Stephen King books here, and I believe I left actually one of them downstairs, which is one of the Russian literature ones, but that's okay. I'll run down and grab it. 3 Stephen King books here. One is Under the Dome. These are all pretty big ones. Under the Dome, you know it, you love it, or you know it, you hate it, it seems. There's a pretty mixed opinion on this one. I think I'm going to love it based on just my pure love of Stephen King and his weirdness. I think I'm going to love Under the Dome. I also have Bag of Bones here. This one I think is the one I'm most excited about. This is about a writer who I believe loses his wife and just kind of his dealings with that. I think he goes to a cabin to try and, get back to normal, and some things start happening. Also, another fan favorite. If you're a big fan of Stephen King, you have likely recommended this one if you've read it. Doohickey. Doohickey is one that doesn't look good. It doesn't really look good. It kind of has a Cell vibe to it. It's like, But the people who have read Doohickey love Doohickey and say it's a top 10 Stephen King book, which is saying a lot for a guy who has published as much as he has and has published as many iconic books as he has. Doohickey, a lot of people say it's in their top 10, so I can't wait to see if that's true. Okay, some Russian literature. This is one that I'm currently reading. This is Crime and Punishment. I only have it on my Kindle here. This is the Oliver Reddy translation here. There was this great post on the internet somewhere where someone had collected a few paragraphs from every translation for Crime and Punishment. So you could go through and read a paragraph of every translator to see if one kind of stuck to you or kind of was just a little more calling to you a little more than the others. The P&V, Richard, and was it PVR? I always screw up that name. I read The Idiot for them. Not The Idiot, the Notes from Underground. And I did like it, but I did find it kind of jumbly and sort of awkward. You know, I feel like awkward is the only way I could describe it. It just, things ended and started, and I was like, oh, had to kind of do a few rereads on that one. So I didn't particularly love it, although I did love the Notes from Underground. Read their a paragraph of their translation for Crime and Punishment and was kind of feeling the same. So I read Oliver Reddy's and Michael Katz and Constance Garnett's their translations, and I was enjoying all three of those more, I have to be honest. But there was Oliver Reddy and Michael Katz. Sorry, I should say Michael Katz one I thought was probably my favorite, but I cannot find the hard copy translation for that one in person anywhere. And Oliver Reddy's was a really close second, and his copies are everywhere because I think it's the Penguin Classic. And so I started reading the Oliver Reddy one. Really, really enjoying it. It's very buttery, very smooth to read. It's been very, very enjoyable. And the book that I forgot downstairs, I was at a bookstore yesterday and found The Brothers Karamazov by Michael Katz. So I'll be reading that translation of The Brothers Karamazov this year as well. Finally going to be taking that one on. There's a lot of finalies on this list. You know, a few of these books were on the beginning of my list for 2024. Just couldn't make it happen, but making it happen this year. So looking forward to that. Another book I'm reading right now is Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is just a really fun fantasy science fiction game show weird sort of book that I've been really, really enjoying. It is just pure fun. It's funny. It's not very deep. I shouldn't say that. There might be some weird sort of moments where you're like, oh, why is this as emotional as it is? But I'm really enjoying it. It's been a good time. I watched the new Wallace and Gromit movie. I wanted to say real quick, I just really love Wallace and Gromit, and the new one is so good. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend it. It is just a pure, wholesome, good time. Book club. Let me get into book club, guys. Okay, so for February, we are doing, if you weren't able to guess, it is Valentine's Day in February, and so we are doing a love-themed month. We're doing, basically it's going to be literary romance books, is I think how we determined what these books were kind of going to be leaning towards. So I'm going to go through the list that people are voting on right now, and then I'll reveal the top 5 currently. The top 5 are going to move on to a final poll, and everybody's going to vote on those. So we have Atonement, which I mentioned already, 7 Days in June, Pride and Prejudice, which I'd be psyched to read. I haven't read Jane Austen yet. Persuasion, Wuthering Heights, This Is How You Lose the Time War, Unbearable Lightness of Being, Normal People, The Ministry of Time, Jane Eyre, Just for the Summer, The Light We Lost, A Brother's Price, Book Lovers, Love in the Time of Cholera, and The English Patient. Those are the books that we're voting on, and the winners so far are Wuthering Heights and Atonement are both well in the lead. Actually, Ministry of Time is there as well. Ministry of Time, Wuthering Heights, and Atonement are the 3 main leaders at the moment. My audio cut out there. My apologies. Pride and Prejudice is also doing very well. The Ministry of Time, Normal People, I might have already said that. I think for me, the ones I'd be most excited about, just for whatever, are Atonement and Wuthering Heights. I just feel like those are the 2 that are calling me the most out of this entire list. And they're both doing well, so we'll see. I'm not trying to sway it one way or the other. But again, the Sick Book Club is a big book community. It's $5 a month. It helps me out. The link will be down below. It's the Patreon link. If you're interested, no press. That's all. No more sorry. So that kind of wraps up 1 year of doing this, guys. I'll see you next week. But this ends the weekly run here. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for commenting. I really do appreciate it so much. Love you, even though I don't really know who you are. But appreciate it very much. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.